I want to bring in Anjalee Khemlani now for more on that. And Anjalee, we often talk about the numbers, case counts going up, but we continue to have, I think, moments of distress broadly when you think about people stuck without the ability to get themselves treated and tested. And there is yet another cruise ship, the Zaandam cruise ship, that's continuing to look for port here in the U.S. What's the latest?
Yes, Miles, unfortunately, we have heard reports that there are already 4 dead aboard this ship, which left port on March 7th from Buenos Aires, and passengers have not been off the ship since March 14th. Of the roughly 2,500 people, including crew on board, we've got 446 guests and 602 crew members still on this ship, reporting some sort of symptoms. Meanwhile, healthy passengers were transferred to a different ship, the Rotterdam, and that was roughly 800 guests and a little more than 600 crew members then. Meanwhile, the Rotterdam is on its way to Fort Lauderdale, but this ship, the Zaandam, is still waiting for approval to get into the port of entry in Florida. There are no reports yet on whether or not Broward County will approve this. They do have reports of at least 2 members on board that are sick and will need to be airlifted, quote, if they make it here, is what Carnival Chief Maritime Officer William Burke told Bloomberg earlier. Meanwhile, Yahoo Finance has been in touch with one of the passengers who is in her 70s and whose husband has pneumonia right now. And she doesn't have adequate Wi-Fi, but she was able to say and tell us, quote, just heard that Broward County wants to keep all sick Americans on the ship for 14 days unless they have cars parked near the terminal and can drive themselves home and self-isolate. An exception will be made for 2 very sick people who will go to a hospital. The ship is not able to take adequate care of sick people, end quote. So as you can see, it's a really rough situation, and we saw this play out at the beginning of the outbreak with the number of cruises out there. But we're seeing yet again, even though a number of cruise lines have in fact suspended their routes, we're still seeing the results play out as those crews that were already out before that decision was made are struggling. Miles.
Yeah, Anjalee, I think in many ways, for an American audience that, had been told by various authorities that this was just a China issue, this was going to be fine. The outbreaks we saw on cruise ships for the first time, I think a lot of people perked up and said, oh, we might have a problem here. That story certainly and unfortunately continuing here as the days move along.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.